Cabin 13 Productions.
I'm such a loser, sweating God, I'm the worst.
Welcome back to the Chillcast, brought to you by the Woodsman Podcast. We're your hosts, Joey Rucker.
And Brent Murphy.
Welcome back, everybody.
As you can see, there's no video, and as you can tell, we sound exhausted.
We are tired.
Oh, man.
It's been another one of those weeks.
It has been a week where we have worked. I can't remember the last weekend we didn't have to work.
No, it's been a while.
It's been, I
don't
think,
know.
3 or 4 weekends in a row that we have not had.
Yeah, and this last one was very tough. We had a big, what do you call them? Not event.
Yeah, it was an event.
An event, but I mean the one before, the Friday convention. That's what I'm looking for. We had a large convention that we went to. We went to NAMM
for our music homies.
Yeah,
NAMM, crazy.
And,
Joey didn't care.
I hated it.
But like I had a great and
NAMM sucks.
exhausting time.
No, let me be clear. NAMM is perfect for people who are in the music, audio type of world. It really is just a playground of the coolest new toys.
Oh yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. But it's just like I am, hands down all video. That is what my passion is.
Bro
Like,
didn't care about a single thing besides the black magic vendor.
Place,
that was it.
Was the black magic vendor where I could mess around with some lenses and just sit there enjoying that because man, I mean, I think I ran away from the group like 4 times because I just needed to get away and like sit down, and everybody wanted to keep walking, and I was like,
We eventually found Joey in a drum circle by himself. Like there was no one else in our group with him, and he was just having the time of his life.
I don't really know how to explain that. If I can find footage for those on YouTube, even though there's this is audio only. I'm not gonna try. But yeah, if maybe on our socials, if you want to check us out at Woodsman Pod on Instagram and X, maybe we'll throw a video up if we can find one. I'm sure there was like 1 or 2 taken of me where I don't know how to describe.
I'll post it. I'll post them on the gram and X because it was hilarious. I mean,
just title it because like the way you've done some of the Instagram stories, where you'll post a video of a bear. You'll say like Joey caught out at the mall the other day, and like you should do that with the video of me drumming, and you could say wild bear on the loose.
A wild bear
caught
in a drum circle.
Anaheim.
Just
yeah, I don't know how to describe how that happened. I went.
You were there for so long.
I was there for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just sitting. The first half hour was just me sitting around because all I wanted was to take a break, not look at any of these stupid booths that I don't care about. And finally I sit down, and lo and behold, somehow a like 200 to 300 person size circle.
No, it was big. It was not
huge.
like a small, like 15 people showed up. Like, no, like
this was
it
like
was
a tribe coming out to like do a seance kind of like ritual. Like
seance.
Seance is the wrong word. Come to think of it, seance was.
We're out here conjuring shit. Like,
honestly, dude, some of the drum beats we would hit, I was sitting there like, I feel like.
I think you conjured up like Odin after a while, bro. Like you called him over, and he was like, yeah. And you're just like,
how you doing?
Just in the zone. You didn't even talk to him.
I'm Odin.
I'm Odin.
Thank you for the drum circle.
Hey, well, speaking of our Aussie listeners, I will say, guys, we got some updates on. I don't know why people cared so much about the California fires in different countries, but guys, this is the most amount of countries we have ever had that was not the United States. Listen, over the past couple weeks. We're currently recording on January 29th, which is a lot later than we normally do. It's currently Wednesday. Normally record on Sundays. And let me tell you, the turnaround's gonna be immaculate. That's all I gotta say. The
That's why
turnaround is immaculate.
Another reason why this week's episode is audio only, just so that we don't have to do this like sending files back and forth,
Yeah.
hoping for the YouTube upload to not take forever. Like,
Well, it's 9 o'clock right now. We got home like an hour and a half ago.
yeah,
Like,
and
I'm
none of
so
us-
tired. Like,
neither of us wanted to do this. But you know what, chat?
we love you, and we
sometimes we're gonna take it easy,
and we love our new countries.
but
We love our new countries.
Tell me about some of the new countries.
Yeah. So
I don't know if I know all of them.
obviously we got the United States. You know, that's where most of our listener base is in. But we had our UK listeners come back. We had 5 UK listeners, which was pretty good. I think the last time we had some UK listeners, it was only like maybe 2. So, you know, we technically did over double, which is, you know, we doubled our efforts, which was a great time. But we got our boys in Japan listening.
Oh, heck
We
yeah.
got our guys in Ukraine listening.
Mm.
We got France listening. Our
Dude.
Canada listeners came back. We
The
have
boot.
our Aussies, our loyal Aussies.
Our-
We love you guys.
We love you guys. You're our favorite. Well, you know, we didn't pick favorites, but the Aussies,
They're my favorite.
they're fighting for the ranks.
I love that. Well, not only do we have our Aussie listeners, but 2 new places that we also got out of that
Do
list
tell, do
was
tell.
not only India, but Italy, my man.
Really?
Yes. So we have quite a bit of new listeners under our belt right now. I mean, Japan, Ukraine, France, India, and Italy. I don't think we've ever had those guys
No, I
before.
don't think so.
So I mean, you know, shout out to you guys. Thank you for
Scotland,
listening.
You're falling behind.
Yeah, you know, we wish
when are we gonna get some Scotland?
we wish we would have more, considering that you guys are the ones that own all the creepiness. Like
Yeah.
you guys got all the folklore, myths, the legends. You know, you guys
I
got
just
everything.
want you guys to listen so that I can do your accent next. 'cause
You know,
as much as I love my brothers down under, I, you know, it'd be really great to do it with you, with the new fans.
that is
It
crazy.
would be one of my favorite.
I won't
oh
even
my
try. I won't even try.
I listen.
I'll stick to Korg.
Dude. I'll stick to cool. Yeah, dude. After listening to, I can't even remember the title. Of the story. The Stone House. The Stone House. Brought to you by another podcast we're big fans of. Shout out to
Yes,
Seven Lamb
Seven
Productions.
Lamb, my
Oh,
man.
That whole story had this crazy Scottish character.
Dude, that one
and
was
man, was it good?
man, that one was crazy. Shout out
Intense.
to Jack, man.
Yeah,
Is it Jack
Jack is the
Austin?
goat, dude.
Jack Austin. You are
He
you're
has one of
crazy,
those
dude.
voices that surprises you how many times you can hear the exact same like inflections in a voice, yet somehow
My man's got so
you
much
can-
range.
So much range.
He's got so much range, dude.
I wish I could have range like that, dude.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Shout out to our Seven Lamb guys. You guys are putting in
You guys are the Gs.
crazy
Definitely one of
work.
the inspirations.
Yes, 100%. Well, I guess before we get on with the rest of the show, we should mention season 4. We've realized that we are all over the place on our topics, and you know, it finally took us 4 seasons to realize, hey, maybe we should theme some topics so that way you guys kind of know what's going down. So
And that we're not scrambling
yeah,
at
that
the,
too.
like end of a week to be like, oh God,
We should come up with
we
something
should come up with a
fast.
topic.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been good. We've been good season 4. I mean, yeah, we're doing a Chillcast
It kind
earlier
of
than we
started
wanted to, but
mid season 3 where we didn't really plan out how we're gonna explain it now, but we were like planning way in advance like what topics we should discuss.
yeah,
And so season 4, that's why we're gonna kind of talk you guys through how we're planning on doing things for the near future.
yeah. So if you guys are into like one specific type of topic versus the other, you guys can kind of plan accordingly on what episodes you want to listen to. But we've decided, since we have all of season 4 mapped out, we decided to theme it every week. We have a different theme. And since we come out once a week, we realized, oh, hey, we got like 4 to 5 episodes a month. So why not theme the 4 to 5 episodes? So last week. If you guys couldn't tell, well, I guess we'll start new this month because I just realized we started in the middle of January. So this will be our first February episode. So if we're going by that, we got Wild Week the first week of the month. That'll be our woods or nature-based episodes, so that way we can kind of stay consistent with our wood themes and, the cabin and, just a little studio we got going on, because we got to give you guys, a little bit of what the name of the podcast
you guys
is.
clearly loved that original first episode, either Call to the Wild or Weirdness in the Woods. I always forget which one was
You
the
guys
one that blew
loved
up.
it. You guys
But you
loved
guys
it.
loved it. You guys seem to oddly get a fascination out of the
And then
podcast
we realized,
actually created.
yeah, we were like, oh, maybe they actually want more woods themed episodes.
Maybe people who join who aren't just people who we know, they're like, oh, a woods podcast. That's
I wonder if they're going to talk about the woods.
I wonder what kind of axe blades they use. And it's like, I'm an AV technician.
I actually can't tell you the last time I was in the woods.
Yeah.
I actually was in the woods
been a
yesterday, but it's all right. It's all right. But so we decided Wild Week, that'll be the first of the month. Second of the month, we have Weirdness Week, and that'll be when I take over my little spookiness. So that'll be our odd, paranormal, supernatural week.
Any of you
If you
fans
guys
who
are into
fans
that.
of the Alien episodes, the Ghost Buddy of Mine,
Yeah.
any of those ones.
Check those
Maybe
out.
some Duendes stories.
The second week of the month. Yeah. We have What in the World Week, and that's kind of our, insane, maybe borderline stupid, topics and just weird things that are going on in the world currently, such as, we had our problem with education episode a while back. I feel like that would kind of be considered the what in the world, just kind of what's going on right now. How are we feeling about the situations we got going on in 2025? And
some current events.
So that'll be a lot of current events. And then after that, we got the We Laugh Week, and that's going to be more of our lighthearted, maybe more comedy-based topics. That way you guys can just share a laugh at the end of the month, because we know the world's getting pretty crazy right now, and a lot of negativity is being spread. So we figured that we would end our months with just, some laughs, man.
Some chill topics that, aren't chill casts, where you can kind of see our pretty faces as we
while we laugh.
fight about Superman's costume or talk about the best story game there is, or what's better, Marvel or DC,
Which,
So,
I mean,
I'm sure
it's
we're gonna
Marvel,
have to,
but yeah.
You know what would be super fair probably to you?
Yeah.
You know how we had our first debate episode here of flat earth theory,
Mhm.
and how even though you believe that the earth is round, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We kind of had you have to take on the role of the flat earth
Yeah.
debater.
Yeah.
It'd be funny for you to have to, if we did a Marvel versus DC episode and I had to do the
Don't make
the
me
DC stuff.
speak. I was gonna say, please don't make me speak on behalf of DC,
no,
bro.
it could be revenge for you. Make me have to defend the one that I
yes.
obviously don't think would win.
Yes, dude, I'm already down.
We can do it.
I'm already down.
Potential idea for the future. So check out the We Laugh Week topics. If you want just some lighthearted fun. with the
Last
woodwork.
week of the month. And then if we do have any, in closing with this, if we do have any fifth weeks in the month, that'll be the Chillcast. Obviously, right now you guys are listening to the Chillcast at the beginning of the month, but we're still keeping the same topic that we had, which is still considered Wild Week. So
yeah, Chillcasts are still going to be around for more than just fifth week months, if we have situations like this, where either
which we're trying not to,
we're trying not to do, but this is just one of those times where I called for it. That was the whole kind of original idea for the Chillcast, was like, sometimes we just need to take a breather.
Yeah, and this
so
was definitely one of those.
This was just
weeks.
one of those weeks. But if you want just some more casual, chill stuff, then
banter.
that'll still come out regularly on months with 5 weeks.
Yeah. Well, lastly, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or stories and inquiries on Cabin 13 Productions or our studio, you can always head over to thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com.
You can always interact with us too at X and Instagram at WoodsmanPod.
And lastly, you can also subscribe to our Patreon, which we know has been lacking for the month of January.
It's been a hard. January's been
you
tough.
guys, yeah,
January's been hard.
January. I will say, January and February are gonna be
It's gonna be a little rough.
jam packed
but
for us. But
we are
after
planning
that,
some
we
cool
are.
stuff for the Patreon. We
Yeah.
promise.
So if you guys would love to support, you guys are the reason that we are able to continue doing this podcast. Any little amount helps. And you can find us at patreon.com/thewoodsmanpodcast. So without further ado, you ready to dive into this little Chillcast, bro?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Kink. Well,
Yo, we're back.
well, look at that. I don't know if you guys noticed.
This is very hard for us because we're so used to doing just the main show that it's like, oh, we're just going
surprise,
straight in.
We're still here.
We're still here. We're still here, and there's no sound effects. And
we can bring it. We'll bring it in just the way we always do, where we always start the sentence like,
So,
"All right, man."
Yeah.
So
yeah. Let's dive in.
let's dive in.
Yeah. Dude, by the way, I listened to last week's pod,
Mhm.
The Third Man Syndrome, and I'm pretty sure I said let's dive in like 4 times. Honestly, we should just make it a drinking game at this point. Like if
Oh,
you hear
God.
let's dive in, the listeners just have to take a shot.
People would say like mine would be yeah, or sure. No, it's sure that I say a lot when like we're in like a deeper discussion, and
and I have nothing to
I have
contribute.
nothing to contribute. I'm just like sure, yeah, sure. Yeah, if I start saying sure, I mean the one thing that's nice is that I don't go.
This is
every
true.
episode
This is true
anymore,
because I
so-
burned it into your brain. Now you're scared to
Every
do
time I
it.
think about it, I'm just like, don't be that man.
Oh man, that's wild.
For a
That's
second, I
wild.
thought we hummed.
So
the same
did
thing.
I.
was
So
like,
did
"Come
I. I was
on,
like,
dude."
please stop. No, but why don't you let chat know what tonight's episode is on?
Yes. So if you clicked on this episode or this podcast on our various platforms, you probably saw that we're talking today about the top 10 most dangerous animals of the woods. We're on our call to the wild week or whatever you called it.
Yeah,
the
no, you
wild
week.
week. And so today we're kind of gonna be jumping in and talking about just some of the would you
Shout
consider
out Call to the Wild.
would you consider every animal on today's episode predator?
I mean, no.
Because I don't know all the
No, I
animals.
think they're
that you
just
talked about,
dangerous.
but some
I
of
think
them
they're
are
just
just dangerous.
dangerous, yeah.
So we're gonna be talking about some life-threatening situations that people have been in and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, and
I
we
think-
also do have some facts about
Yep,
some of
yep.
these crazy animals and how many. Doing research for this, when you look up dangerous animals of the world, it's really hard to try and figure out what animals are the most dangerous because, like, are they the most dangerous animals? Are they most dangerous to
Yeah.
humans?
I looked up-
Because
I had so many inconsistencies with. The
I'm
ones I
not
was
gonna
looking
run
up.
into a pistol shrimp, like I'm not like that's just not an animal I'm
There
gonna
was
come into
one
contact
where I was
with.
like top 10 most dangerous animals of the woods, and I was looking up a few articles. Some had like very consistent animals. So I was like trying to find an article with something that was like a little out there, but you wouldn't exactly suspect to be the first choice.
yeah.
And I was looking through, and so many are just like bears, wolves, foxes, coyotes, stuff like that. And then finally, there's this one list where number 7 was sharks, and I was like,
This is like, when
Wait
was
a
the
minute.
last time I ran into a shark?
I was
You
like,
know,
"Huh?
like
when were you?
I mean, they're scary. They're
Sure,
they could
but
definitely eat you for
They're
sure.
in the
but
ocean,
they're also in the ocean,
so
so
it doesn't quite fit. But no, the funniest one I found though, this will be my last little funny tidbit before we get into some of the facts that you found. The funniest one I found was just a consistent list. So there was a couple bugs that were interesting, and there were the bears and the wolves as always.
a lot of like jungle type animals
Yeah.
I've noticed are like the
The
scariest.
final one on the list was just deer. And don't get me wrong,
What?
I'm not going to deny that there probably are incidents that have happened in the world of deer attacks. But I just couldn't help but laugh to myself out loud because they had all these like gruesome angry photos of bears and really creepy.
And then you just
photos.
got a little
And there was
baby
just
deer,
there was
bro.
just a deer with his antlers out in the grass, looking at like, is that a guy taking a photo? of me
Yeah,
right
like
now?"
they're definitely very aware. They're
So-
definitely very aware
I just thought
of
it funny.
people.
So no, Brent has a valid point that it's kind of hard to find specifically woodland
Yeah.
animals that are like the top 10 most dangerous. But
Because, like, you don't encounter a lot of them
Yeah,
in general. So it's like I found, I think, more jungle. Like I said, I found more jungle animals that are more deadly than any woodland animals. But, like, what are the chances I'm going to run into a poisoned dart frog? Like, I don't,
Yeah,
like, I just don't know
exactly,
when
dude.
I'm going to
Like, it
run into
doesn't-
one of those besides Petco. And then I'm like, then I got to ask, like, why does Petco have a poisoned dart frog? Like, well, starting. None of these I don't think are in order. I mean, you'll
That's fine.
obviously tell which ones are the most deadly
I think
by
it's
some
up
of the
to
facts.
us in chat to decide what we would, after hearing some of these facts and stories, what we consider to be the top one spot.
But yeah.
So
Well, I got the box jellyfish, and again, not a woodland creature, but
one creature, but hey,
I do got the
in the
box
wild.
jellyfish, and I actually found on WebMD that the box jellyfish, also known as stingers, are highly venomous aquatic animals. Obviously,
Mhm.
didn't know jellyfish could walk, so
Nemo taught me.
I'm gonna
that
assume they're
jellyfish are
aquatic.
bad.
Yeah, big bad,
Mhm.
big bad for sure. It has a body that, as you would think, looks like a box, and it has a lot of tentacles covered in venom-filled stingers, which is why they call it stingers, right? So jellyfish use their stingers to protect themselves and kill prey, as many people know. But if you brush up against a tentacle, the stingers pierce your skin and inject venom, which, my God, WebMD just knows how to scare the life into people.
They're
bro.
savage,
Like,
dude. No, jellyfish
don't
are
care.
scary because, like, and I don't know if this is just me, but whenever you think of a jellyfish, you always think, when you think of their tentacles, in my opinion, I always think that they're like the most soft, fragile
They're just-
texture, and
They're
like,
just full with barbs, dude.
dude,
like-
literally,
It's like barbed wire
Horrifying.
tentacles, bro. Like, it's so scary, and they're so long.
dude,
Like,
it's like
they're
a
like
cat's tongue.
they're like
Have you seen
translucent.
what like a cat's tongue looks like?
Yeah, it's scary,
Bro, with all
bro.
the spikes on it,
That's
that's
wild.
some demon shit,
That's
bro.
wild. But like, cats are so cute, bro.
Scary.
Anyways.
Assholes, too. Sorry, I love cats, but man, they're just so cranky.
Dude, there's some. I'd rather a cranky cat than a yapper dog. It's like, bro, will you shut up?
Yeah, but here's
Like,
the thing.
no, dude, I don't.
I am always and going to be a dog dad, no
Yeah,
matter what stage.
and
of my
I'll
life.
always be a cat dad.
But
so
I
I
think it's
understand.
I think it's valid if we just exterminated the rat dogs, like
That's
the
fair.
real rat.
No, that's fair.
I'm
that's
not
fair.
talking
not
small
pugs,
like
not like,
pugs
no.
or wiener dogs or whatever.
Just the rat
I'm
dogs.
talking like those rat chihuahua.
like with beluga whale heads. Like,
dude, where you're like,
yeah, then-
and you're just like, oh my god.
it's like, can you shut up? Like, yeah.
I've never thought more violent thoughts than when you wake me up at 3 a.m.
That's
Sorry,
all.
back to this.
Yeah,
the
box
jellyfish.
jellyfish. Yeah.
Enlighten me.
So prevention. This is from WebMD.
Sure.
Prevention is key, but learning the symptoms before a beach vacation can help you get fast treatment, which is pretty concerning. Apparently their sting can cause paralysis, and then just in some cases, just death. Like in some cases, you just die.
Wow.
Like there is no paralysis. It's like, well, I'm checking out. I'm Steve Irwining this. Like I'm
Now,
out.
Steve Irwin was the Stingray, though.
Yeah, it was a Stingray.
We should do an
same premise
You know,
though. I guess. Oh, we should do a Steve.
We should
Steve
do for another
Irwin
Wild Week
episode.
a Steve Irwin episode.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm totally down.
I grew up with Steve Irwin always
Whereas,
on
see,
TV.
you know what I think
like,
would be an interesting dynamic of conversation is I didn't. And so-
interesting.
but I know he's so popular and he made such a big impact in media and his
Yeah.
and his story
and in just wildlife and like
wildlife, yeah, but
trying to cause awareness to like animals that like not a lot of people would really
I
even think twice about.
I grew up with Bear Grylls. That was
Oh
my
yeah.
guy. I grew up with
Okay.
that
Okay.
survival dude who's
Yeah.
always out there like, now today, I'm
On vengeance.
I am going to find the most dangerous jellyfish, and I am going to let him sting my hand so
Yeah.
I can show
Bear
you.
Grylls.
And you're just like, dude, why? Like,
Bro,
you
Bear
can teach me
Grylls
how to
is
make a
just going
fire.
through it, bro.
You
Like,
can
I don't
teach me how to make a shelter.
like. Was he trying to kill himself? Was that just was he borderline
He's-
suicidal
I think
or
he has
something?
a newer
Like,
show these days. Even I don't know how old he is, but I think he has a new one now where he like takes celebrities out and they'll do like
that's
a
a bad
survival
idea.
thing. And
How you gonna tell me you're gonna take Steve Seagal into the wild, and bro's gonna try and put a bear into a headlock and just get mauled instantly, dude?
oh my god!
Ain't
Just
no
before
way.
coming over here, God, there's been a lot of wild stuff in my life recently, like nature wise, that you're reminding me of. But I saw a video just on the way here of this bear enclosure, kind of what I envision when Bert Kreischer talks
Kreischer
about his
yeah.
marshmallow story.
Yeah.
And this bear, this guy is standing in the enclosure, something on his head. I don't think a marshmallow,
Oh man.
but he's just standing there. And a bear walks up, sits down, real like stupidly, where you're just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, he's a cute little guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And he kind of does like a wave, and everybody's like, all right, stay. And he gets up on his hind legs, and you're like, oh, he's kind of tall. And then he kind of shakes his head playfully,
And you're like,
and he's right next to the guy.
how is non-friend have such friend ears, bro?
And the bear like leans over to the guy, all cute. And the dude's just like, aw. And then like his jaw just opens and just grabs the dude's head and like tackles him
Did
to the
he
floor.
die?
Total change of character. I don't know how it ends.
I'm pretty
Because
sure
what
you witnessed a
happened
murder.
Was I saw the bear just fall on the guy, and this
Oh,
dude
no.
comes up with a bat so fast, just starts slamming the bear in the
Hey,
side.
bear.
Bear does not give a shit, bro.
Good
He's just sitting there
bears are
like, I'm
just-
eating right now, dog.
Yeah.
Like, and he's hitting him, and finally somebody comes out with bear spray and sprays the thing off, and he
Accidentally
scurries
sprays
away.
themselves in the eyes. They're running
The
around.
thing that was so like heart wrenching, dude, was the fact
You
that
can't say heart wrenching and uncontrollably laugh like you
no,
are.
it's just because it's like one of those nervous laughs. Because like it's like it's kind of just what made it real was the fact that the bear opens his mouth and you're just like, and then he grabs the guy's head and you're like, oh, like you kind of have that panic moment.
Like,
But
this
there's no
is real.
noise.
This is
There's-
definitely
there's
real.
no noise. Everybody's yelling like, hey, 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 hey. And then finally, it's after he's like halfway down that I think you realize the impact of the bear's jaw has now fully set in, because it took him halfway down for him to start screaming like a little girl. He
Oh,
didn't scream on initial
no.
impact. He screamed halfway down. And that's what made it real, because you're like, oh my God, he probably didn't even realize what was going on
Yeah.
until he fell.
He
And
was
just
probably like, there's no way my head's going to be in this bear's mouth. Like, there's no way.
if I find the
And
video, I'm
then
going to
you
send
just
it to you.
chomp, and it's like,
Oh my God. I don't know if you have any more on jellyfish, but I just saw your next animal and I'm so excited.
You know, I don't. So we can go into
Yeah,
this
let's
next
do
one.
it. I'm so excited.
You know, I only looked this one up because I miss Mudang so much.
Oh,
So coming in at number 2, we have the hippopotamus, and on
hippopotamus. Hippopotamus.
I thought you were gonna.
What?
I thought you were gonna sing "I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas."
No, I was singing, what's his name?
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oscar Isaac's song that he did on The Tonight Show.
Oh yes,
Hippopotamus. Hippopotamus.
Shout out to Oscar Isaac. I love you, bro.
You're a beautiful
Please be
man.
on the pod, please. He won't. It's okay. It's okay. A man can dream. So coming in at number 2, we have on discoverywildlife.org, causing an estimated 500 deaths annually to humans. So this is a big ass step up. This is
Yeah.
500. And just to give some clarification, there's only 22 human deaths a year from lions. So
Really? Wait, how
do
many?
that math. Only 22. Yeah, hippos kill 500 a year.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Where are
Hippos,
people finding hippos
I don't know.
that are lethal to you? Like, I mean,
Zoos?
is this in the world though?
This is in the
In
world.
the world.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but still, I just figure
500's a lot.
if you're in a place that has hippos, you're near a place that has lions. Not that they are in close proximity. but
like Africa.
like if you're in somewhere wild enough to have hippos, you're in a place that's wild enough to have lions. And it's
Yeah.
weird to me that such a voracious.
You got it. You know
pro-
words.
Voracious.
You know words.
What did you say last
No,
week?
I don't want to talk about it, bro. I don't want.
I can't remember.
I don't
You're
want
so,
to talk about
You're
it.
so lucky I can't remember.
So this is because they are very aggressive and territorial animals.
He said anyway.
They also have a habit of charging at boats and capsizing them
God, dude.
instantly. Like they just,
Mortified. I'm
dude.
so
It's
scared.
like, what is that in the water? And
Is
you
that an
just see that
alligator? Is that a
mouth
shark?
open, and it
Dog, I
just.
think that's a hippo.
I would much rather run into a lion before I'd run into a hippo, bro.
Yeah.
Wanna know what's even crazier? Like the reason why I'd rather run into a lion?
What is that?
Because,
People die less from them.
well, they can run up to 22 miles an hour on land.
Hippos can?
Yeah, with how big they are.
How fast can I run?
Definitely
do
not.
not make a hippo
Definitely
joke.
not 22 miles an hour. I'll tell you that right now.
What's the I'm gonna look up what the average human running speed
Well,
is.
listen. On The Office, they could run like what, 11 miles an hour? Do you remember that episode where they were running past the automatic
The
like
maximum
speed
running
thing?
speed maximum is 28, but that's maximum.
Yeah, that's definitely not us. It's
No,
definitely not us
That's
whatsoever.
not me, pal. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. So yeah, hippos terrifying.
Yeah,
I
can't imagine.
We're gonna skip down
They're
to
scary,
lions.
By the way, like have you ever seen their
Oh
mouths?
yeah, they're massive.
Massive, scary.
But
ass
Moodang's
teeth, too.
so cute.
Moodang's cute because he
bro.
doesn't have the demon teeth yet. He's
Aw,
just sitting
but
there like a
it's
little baby.
such a little cutie, bro. Well, moving down to lions, as I said, 22 human deaths per year, which, you know, that's some light. We've had a lot of school shooters that have taken out way more than that. What? We live in America. They should
I
know.
don't even know.
What? You looked at me like that was the wrong thing to say. That's real. That is real. Anyway, a lion.
Say that in the note.
It doesn't.
You just that was on the fly.
That's just a
You-
statistic I know. So anyway, a lion's roar
Welcome
can
back
be
to
heard
this
from
week's nature
from
episode.
8 kilometers away.
Did you know that more people die from school shootings than lions?
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good like
Copyright
stat.
Cabin 13.
Cabin woodsman.
13. Sorry. Anyway,
You can tell how tired
you
we
just-
are.
you
It just
caught me
keeps
off
getting
guard.
unhinged.
I wasn't ready for that.
I also didn't know that not all lions are from Africa. Apparently,
I'm not
there's like
surprised.
other places that hold lions, which I think is like a little scary. But as long as I don't have to run into them in the wild, then I could care less.
I know they're not quite the same animal, obviously, but I really would love a Tiger King season 3.
I really could care less. I didn't watch a single episode
Dude,
of 1 and 2.
I
and
will stand by all the idiots who love that show because I am one of them.
You're one of
It's
them, dude.
so entertaining. It's so intriguing.
It's a load of horse shit is what it is. I wonder how many people
It's a
die from horses.
thriller. It's a love show. It's like a crime documentary. I mean, it's all my favorite things.
Nah. Yeah. Well, I do have a fun fact. Did you know that Ugandan lions are excellent tree climbers?
I did not.
So
I'm
that
glad
means
you said Ugandan because I was reading it in my head as Ugandan, and I really, I was like, that's not right.
that's not the right word.
Tree climbers.
Yeah, so they're like good tree climbers. Well, they're cats, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like all
It's
cats are
sort
pretty
of, I think,
good
in their
at.
genetic code. They're
Yeah.
not like meant to be climbing trees. I think that is definitely something that happened after
Yeah,
we ate
that's
the apple
definitely
from the tree of good and
survival.
evil.
Like
God
definitely
was like,
survival of the fittest. They were like, I guess I gotta learn how to climb trees now,
yeah, dude.
because
No,
I
I
gotta
think
take out
I
these humans
hell
from
no.
the
I
trees.
think it was spite, dude. I think that God was like, you really ate the apple, the one thing I told you not
He's
to
like,
eat.
all right, I guess the most deadliest predators
They
they
can
can
climb
climb trees
trees
now.
now.
So, haha, like you,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
was definitely a spite thing for
Because
sure.
they don't give off
Climbing vibes.
climbing vibes.
They don't have
They're not
climbing vibes.
because monkeys and orangutans and like the what is the term for monkey, the monkey
Like,
family?
I almost said Homo sapiens. I was like, that's definitely humans. They have opposable thumbs, so that's like
what-
kind of
that kind of breed of animal. I can't quite think of the word, but their body build
like monks.
is
They're just big monks.
big old monks. Their build is so made for climbing.
Yeah,
The
they have the
thumbs, like you
longer
said,
arms,
longer arms.
like yeah,
Um,
the muscle mass.
yeah, muscle
My
mass. Like,
God.
it's built for that. When you think of
Yeah.
a lion, like,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, bros are gonna run fast at me, but like I would not anticipate me climbing a tree, looking down, and then hear, like I'm just okay,
Dude,
just kill me now,
bro,
just kill me
bears
now.
can climb trees
Yeah.
too, bro. That's scary. Like I've heard of encounters,
And they're
where-
so big.
Oh,
Like
God.
that's what I don't understand. I'm like, how are you that big and you're out here climbing trees? Well, I mean, I guess we climb trees. We're not small.
Yeah, but they're bears and cats and lions. Is a bear
Yeah.
a cat?
No,
we had this?
wait, I
No,
actually
no,
don't know.
It's not a cat.
No, bears
I've
are like
had
in their
this
own category, right?
conversation before. There's a different name for it. Yeah, because koala bear. Or wait, maybe it's just that koala bears aren't bears. Wait a minute. I don't remember.
I don't know. I mean, I know red pandas are more associated with foxes, I think, or something like that. Like it's not bears.
What even are sloths? When you really
actually-
think about it.
Are they?
Oh, sorry, Chad.
Are they just?
They're
Are they
real-
koalas? Are they in the koala family?
What even are they?
I
Nah,
don't
you know. what's-
know. I don't
This
know.
may
what-
be the stupidest thing I've ever said, but honestly,
Probably.
I think that sloths are closer to like anteater type of family than they are.
No, that's fair.
It's
no,
it's
no,
one of
I
those
feel
weird
that's-
animals
Yeah.
where you're like, what
It's like,
really
what do I
is an
classify
anteater?
you as?
I
Like
feel like anteaters are just another animal with a deformity.
every time I think of anteaters, I just why? Why do you
I'm just thinking about some of the shit we're talking.
I know.
We're taking it so seriously.
I think of badger moles from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
instantly associate anteaters with those,
Man,
but
what a great concept for a show to have just animal mixes. It was so fun.
and then the Earth King just owns bear,
yeah,
just
yeah,
bear,
just a bear.
not a platypus
Probably
bear.
one of the
not-
rarest animals in the world.
Probably, yeah.
As much
we-
as
yeah.
I don't think The Legend of Korra was as good as the original show, I do think that her animal was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was like
like,
a big old polar bear dog.
That was pretty
Yeah,
dope.
that was pretty sick. I did mess with that heavy.
Anyway,
Well,
we're getting-
moving
sorry.
on. Moving on. You got the testes fly. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
I
what
know
did you
that's
say to me?
the testes fly. That's definitely the name of it.
Run that by me again.
Well, let me tell you how it's spelled, chat. It's spelled TSETSE.
Oh.
The testes fly.
Would it be Setsy? Isn't like a TS?
Oh, maybe.
I thought like TS sometimes is S.
Setsy. The Setsy fly. I'm gonna say that probably sounds the most
It sounds less
like.
graphic.
Yeah, it sounds a little less sexual than
Yeah.
I said it. This one's on the CDC.gov. Apparently, you can contract sleeping sickness from the bite of the sesty fly.
I don't even know what that is.
It's only found in rural, like sub-Saharan Africa. So again, Africa's just like the odds are stacked against you, African listeners, because like, my God, you guys have all the dangerous animals like in one place. Like, I
See, but
don't
do
understand.
where do you stand, right? Would you rather go to Africa?
Yeah. Sorry.
Hear me out.
Continue. Got it.
Would you rather go to Africa and just be out in the wilderness in shorts.
Oh, see, I don't even wear shorts.
Hold on, or
Okay.
Australia in the wilderness with shorts.
Ooh.
Now, here's why. Because
Ooh.
we're talking about all these land animal, big creatures that are extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Australia's got those spiders.
No.
Spiders the
Nah.
size of like literal chairs.
No,
You
dude,
know?
it's so scary, bro.
I don't care how many.
Or like the flying spiders,
Bruh. That's another one
where
of
they
those
come
ones where
down
they're
in
like,
hundreds.
You
They
thought I was
just-
stopping with cats climbing trees?
Nah.
How about arachnids that fly?
Nah, dude, that's so scary, bro.
I don't care
Nah,
how many
I-
spider fans will tell me like, oh no, they're gentle creatures. They just don't.
Until you got one flying
Hell
towards your
no.
face, fuck
Mm-mm.
that, dude. Ain't no
Mm-mm.
way. Ain't no
They
way.
produce the most scary, one of the most popular Halloween horror trope substances
Yeah.
that we know today.
Yeah.
Webbing.
Webs.
Now,
Like,
Spider-Man,
he makes his own, though.
yeah.
So it's
yeah,
different.
It's science.
Yeah, it's
not-
science,
it's
you
not,
know?
Like,
He's a man of
evil.
class, you know? These
Yeah.
spiders are just evil beings,
do
bro.
you kill bugs?
No,
Really?
I try not to.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm one of those
As much
guys
as I
that like
love-
try to scoop it up in a cup and try and get it outside.
I don't.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
You just radiate the vibe of like, ooh, it's smaller than me. Like you just it's just the vibe you give off, man.
That's my
just-
vibe.
yeah. Like if you were God, you would definitely be the punishing God. Like you just like you're like, they done crossed me too many times. Just let
There
me
would-
step on them.
There wouldn't have
like,
just been one flood if I was God,
there would have been
There
so
would've been a
many. We would have been just an ocean planet. That would have been. That's your decision.
I don't know. I do.
You would have used Earth like a fushigi.
Just imagining. I wish we had the cameras because I'm just imagining God like putting it on his fingers for those listening, like on the top of his fingers.
And you're like, I know damn well
wiggling
that's
it
just a
around.
mirror ball. You
I created this.
yeah, it's like you created that is
Oh,
a
man.
mirror ball. Well, do you want to know what happens when you get sleeping sickness, bro?
Yes, please.
Apparently the early symptoms include not only a fever and headaches, so like the two worst things about being sick,
Mm-hmm.
but you also contract joint pains and itching, and later stages just may include behavioral changes, which is a little scary, confusion, and just poor coordination up until death.
Kind of just. Do I? What is it called?
I think you might have
I think
sleeping
I might
sickness.
have sleeping sickness.
Yeah, dude. Don't know where you're at. You wake up confused all the
Confused
time.
all the
Joint
time.
pains.
My
You-
knees crack.
You
every
get
time
hella
I stand
headaches. You
up.
get hella headaches. You
When-
itch all the time.
When in all reality, I just don't treat
Take
my
care
hair
of
properly.
myself?
I don't sleep
Oh.
well. I'm overweight, so my knees pop when I stand.
You know, it just sounds like people are giving excuses for sleeping sickness. I think
Yeah.
you're just an average American if
Maybe
you have
just
it.
like me, an
Yeah.
average Joe.
Mark
Mark that down as the second time I've made that joke on this podcast, and it didn't make it any funnier.
It's
the
okay.
second
You don't
time.
need to. You don't need to make it any better. Well, you know, we do have a couple other ones. I don't really have a lot of info, but I did want to bring up humans. Humans' number one killer of animal. Like this animal
you
kills
told
the
me about this.
most humans. You want to take a guess without looking at the notes?
I mean, you
what it
told me
is?
at work.
Ah, you're right. It's not that cool. Well, for chat, if you guys were scared of anything before,
Drum roll, please.
you should know that mosquitoes are the number one human killing animal in the world, guys. On the CDC.gov page, Mosquitoes cause more human suffering and death than any other organism. You want to take a guess how many people die a year? Did I tell you that as well?
So this is the most that humans die. So it's got to be more than lions. So it's-
Definitely more than 22 humans. Definitely more than 500 humans.
How many?
Take a wild guess before I tell you. A wild guess.
1,000
You're close.
and 154.
Okay. You're really close. You're really close. On average, 1 million people worldwide die from mosquito-borne diseases every single year.
He said, "You're close. No, you're there. You're
So multiply it by
Little high.
Actually, I'm not gonna
Little high.
even. I'm not
No.
even gonna say that because I'm gonna sound so
It's gonna
dumb.
be like us trying to explain what an acre is again. I don't even
square
foot.
feet and everything. Yeah, no. So yeah, 1 million people die from mosquitoes every year,
That is
bro.
Wait, but
And they only live about 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the species.
so they're working fast.
They're
over there.
working fast as hell. So I will say it's not really like the mosquitoes biting you that kills people. It's like diseases like malaria.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure Ebola came from mosquitoes
I think
too,
So
I believe. So they have very
and
crazy.
mosquitoes are, and don't judge me for the question yet, but mosquitoes are classified as insects.
I would
right?
assume so. Yeah.
Now that said,
Or a locust?
would
Nah,
anim-
it's got to be a.
is insect animal?
Yeah.
What is animal?
An animal
Like,
is
where's
just,
the boundary of like what's something that
I think an animal is any.
just anything that breathes or
Well, no, because I
and
would.
eats and
Because like brain eating amoebas, I feel like those are like. I actually
you think
don't.
amoebas are animals?
No, I
no,
don't.
You're saying
That's
they're
what
not.
I'm saying. I'm saying like I don't know if they're micro, like if they're
I saw a different
microscopic, maybe
podcast
they're not. I would say
argue
maybe they're
this
cells, right?
together. Maybe you've seen the clip, but do
Mitochondria.
you consider
the powerhouse of the
fish
cell?
to be animals?
I consider fish to be fish. But I know that doesn't help because yeah, they are animals, but like to me, I'm like, are they really?
Anyway,
Trees are trees, Joey. Mm-hmm.
but they are animals. They're just
Trees aren't animals.
no fish are.
Come on, man. Pick up.
Keep up, dude. You're falling behind.
You're falling behind on
Trees
this one.
are definitely not animals.
Trees are definitely not fish. Well, cause like, what? Cause like crabs and lobsters and shrimp, those are like crustaceans.
Yes, but
Fish
you
are
have
just
bass
fish.
and.
But here's the
and-
thing: I
and-
wouldn't consider like whales or like dolphins or sharks. Like I wouldn't
But wait,
consider
aren't-
those fish
aren't
because they're
dolphins mammals.
Because that
What the
yeah,
hell is the
whales
subclass-
whales and
Wait,
dolphins are mammals.
What is the? Where do you define differently between mammals, animals, and like fish? Why are there so many subdivision?
I think
groups?
it's like like crustaceans are bottom feeders. And
Yeah,
they
but is a
have
crustacean an
they have
animal?
hard shells.
Oh, but you're
see,
saying fish are fish.
I'm just saying fish are
So maybe-
fish.
do you think that?
And I think like anything considered a fish
Oh.
is something with gills that like can't like breathe like air. Cause then you have mammals like dolphins and like whales and stuff. They hold their breath underwater.
Yeah.
So it's like they use air. So to me that makes sense, like that makes sense. But I don't there's so many classifications, man. This is why I should have been like a marine biologist or something, bro, cuz it's all fascinating, but I just don't understand what the differences are, but yeah, so mosquitoes, 1 million people every
That
year
is
die from a
so
mosquito
much
related death.
more than I thought it was.
Yeah. They apparently the females also live longer than males, and they're the only ones to bite animals and people for blood meals.
Hmm.
So I thought that was kind of interesting because it's just the females, which also kind of reminds me of like black widows. Like they eat
Dude,
they
can you
eat the
imagine being
husband.
bit by a black widow?
No, I don't want to because it sounds like
It's
extremely
so
painful
bad.
and you get so sick. Like,
That's why black widows, I think, you know why I think everyone is so afraid of black widows compared to like other things? I think because whenever you think of a dangerous creature or a dangerous animal, you're thinking to yourself, all right, a lion, a bear.
you're
I'm
not thinking of
probably
a
I'm
small
probably not
spider
gonna run
that
into one
you.
of those anytime soon in my
Black
hometown.
widows are
They're
everywhere.
everywhere.
They're everywhere, bro. Like, they're one of the most common spiders I feel like we see
It's always that scary
in the
moment when you see
garage.
one
It's
too, because
always
you're
in the
always like, "Ugh,
garage.
that black spider's real. Like he's a big boy."
And then you see
And
the
then you
red
see the
marking,
red,
and
and
you're
you're
like,
like,
"Welp, I could have died." I mean, the brown recluse is worse though,
Ugh.
and I've never seen that one. But that one's like, I'm pretty sure you don't get sick; you just die. Like, I think you have to immediately get
There's,
treated for it. Like, there is no like, oh, I can power
yeah,
through a
I think,
sickness with
is
this
that the
one.
brown
Like,
recluse
yeah,
that has
that's
that
like the
problem? Oh
most
man, dude.
deadly spider. Yeah. Well,
Well, speaking of people almost dying,
you got some
I
stories
have
to
a couple
read.
stories. I'm gonna try and not take up too much of our time here. I don't even know how long we've been recording.
It's been 50.
Oh, nice. Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually longer than I thought. This is gonna be a
Same.
good episode. So I'll probably, sorry, chap. I'll probably lower it down to 2 stories then. So I'll give you the options of stories, and Brent will decide what 2 we choose. They're all relatively short. There's a moose attack.
That one.
Okay, that's one. Then you have a 19-year-old kills a wolf to survive, and a man bitten
Interesting.
by a rattlesnake on a family hike. Now,
Well, I seen that the man bitten by a rattlesnake, his name's Kyle. And any Kyle story has got to be crazy. So I'm going to say the Kyle story.
I do think Kyle's story is pretty good. I'm not going to say it's like insane, but I just think that the situation is like, if I was in that situation, I would definitely be like so caught off guard. All right, so starting with the moose attack story, this happened in Boulder County, I believe Colorado. I think that's
Yeah, Boulder,
Boulder,
Colorado.
Colorado. I'm getting this from Fox 31 News. This happened very recently. This was
Interesting.
posted September 21st, 2023. So this was not too
Oh,
long ago.
just a few years.
Yeah. The victim of a moose attack, and I'm just going to read this verbatim chat because, and I want to like obviously make that clear that I'm getting this from kdvr.com. So go check out their stuff
If you
for
want to
all
read the
kinds of
exact
news.
same.
But I probably will try not to read every sentence, but I will be probably quoting it
Yeah.
verbatim when I do. So the victim of a moose attack in High County Tuesday morning shared her amazing story. The story was about Chris Ray. This was a woman who was lucky to be alive after being trampled by a moose several times.
I mean, if you get trampled by a moose, it's kind of your own fault. Why'd you get close enough to a moose to let it trample you, bro? It's
Hey
literally
man,
bigger
no,
than a
the
car.
thing is, I totally agree with you on that. But one of, you know how I said that God was like, oh, cats can climb now and spiders fly. I think another thing that genuinely is like a strange concern of nature is that some of the biggest animals can be some of the quietest predators.
Yeah, they
Some of
just
the
they
like
just chill.
they're
Like
chill, they're calm. They will wait hours if need be for like their prey to come out.
well,
Like
I mean, if a moose is
I'm
laying
not saying
down,
moose is
if a
necessarily
moose was laying down, their antlers look exactly just like tree branches.
yeah,
So,
dude.
like, I mean, I could get
God,
it.
can you imagine? You know those pictures that you see on social media where like it'll be like when you see it or when I noticed it, my eyes widened and then you're staring at this photo of a mountain range and you're like,
And you
what am I
just
looking for?
realize, like,
And like
wow,
right
I
in the
would have
corner,
died.
there is like a jaguar that
Yeah,
blends into the
and you
snow.
don't notice
Can
any
you
of it.
imagine being in the wilderness and there's just bushes and trees around and you don't see it at first, But then you do notice that behind a bush, there are just two massive antlers
Yeah.
sticking out. And
And you're like,
it hasn't come at you yet.
that's no elk. That is no elk.
That's not Bambi. That's not Bambi.
That is not Bambi. That is a whole tank of an animal.
So she takes walks along South St. Vrain trailhead near Ward. Ray said, I see moose sometimes. When I see them, I turn around and come home. This is just like to be clarifying. This was on a Wednesday morning, and she was on a walk with her dog Nala, which I love the name Nala. I think that's a great dog name, by the way, because I also follow that one person on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen them. He has a golden retriever, and her name is Nala, and she goes between his legs and she like dances. And
Dude, I love golden retrievers. They're
I
so
love 'em.
cute, bro.
This was maybe like falling off of a 2-story building, she recalls. The attack, Ray said, happened less than a quarter mile into the trail. The moose broke 3 of her vertebrae in her back and in one of her ribs, and also did a lot of soft tissue damage, especially around her kidney. Before the attack, Ray said her and Nala heard some noise on the trail. I heard and I don't know how she exactly said this because it just is spelled ooh. So I'm guessing it could be anything from like ooh to like something like real deep.
I think
and
she heard
scary.
like a
Like a
almost
cow.
like a Minecraft villager mixed in with cow. Just
So she heard this noise and turned around to look, and a moose was charging them from the rear.
God,
I can't
dude,
imagine the
no
feeling
way.
of turning and it's happening. You have no time to react.
You're just like, whoop, I guess this is how I die.
We mentioned it, but they're massive.
They are way bigger than
Terrifying.
cars. They are way bigger than normal cars.
Enormous, dude. And oh my God, moose genuinely scare me sometimes when I realize how big they are. In an attempt to evade the moose, Ray got herself caught in wire. She said
Where'd the wire come from?
Apparently, it was somewhere along the trail. There was probably a small fence kind of thing with barbed wire on it. Of
course, Kyle.
Also, I do want to mention, I'm not going to do that that I've done for some of our scary stories and stuff, where I'm going to be like, and by the way, none of this story was real at the end. This actually happened. I'm not bullshitting this time. Anyway.
Sure.
She turned away from I'm sorry. Quoting Kyle or Ray. Kyle's the other guy. Ray, she said, I turned away from her trying to get behind the nearest tree, but I tripped over some barbed wire that I didn't even know was there. That barbed wire cut her up pretty bad just before the moose trampled over her. In quotes from Ray again, it just ran me over and then ran over me again and then was coming back for a third time when I scrambled to a tree. Now, again, this is similar to that fake bear story I told a while back, where it's like, if you've been trampled twice by a moose, yes, adrenaline is a thing, but how do you have the strength to run behind a tree again after that?
It's got, and
with how big it is.
And think of how much of a, it's smart enough to be like, I'm going to you up not once, not twice, but I'm coming for you for a third one. Time. And you didn't even do anything to me. I'm just going to be like, you know what? You're in my territory. I don't like it. And
it's just terrifying. And
gives out a villager cry and just starts charging.
It's the villager cry. The moose went for Nala, whose leash was tangled in the barbed wire. What she did, this is quoting her again, what she did was she just stayed real alert, and when the moose charged her, she would just step to the side at the very last second, and she did that 3 times, and the moose never got her.
Sounds like the dog got more brains.
Honestly, survival instincts, animals do have that weird tick in the back of their
I'm sure we did too.
At some point.
And then we lost it all. We got comfortable, man. We got comfortable.
Dude.
Cheeseburger.
Netflix. Whoa.
Crazy.
The heart-pounding attack left Ray badly beaten, but her motivation to go home was something she believed she shared with the moose. She claims that was a mom moose defending her baby, Ray said. I think that what it was, and I think that's what it was, and I wanted to get back home to see my baby too. So I got myself down that trail after the encounter, and I just wanted to see him. I wanted to see my baby. And so, is there really much more? She says later on in a quote, "They're really dangerous animals, and they get angry about things just like we do." Ray said, and they'll come after you. So I mean, she has a really good outlook on it. She's very understanding of the fact that it is a wild animal, and they're protective. And I don't know if she had proof or eyesight of there being another moose child. What do you call it? What's a child moose called? I'm gonna look that up too. But
Little baby
I don't know if
moose.
she had confirmation that there
Yeah.
was a smaller one there, but I think maybe she just
I mean, I think there's a
figured.
mother's intuition. If
Yeah,
you're
I
a
mean,
mom, I
animals
feel
are
like you would
so
know.
territorial, and they're so protective of their land and their families and their herd, and
Well, because they gotta be, because if they're not protective, then like you
yeah.
got other animals trying to kill them, you know? So it's like it's
So,
survival of the fittest, bro.
I mean, kudos to her. Those are some crazy. Oh, it's called a calf. I guess that makes sense. Um,
Little
I
baby
can't imagine
moose.
having those injuries. I mean,
And then like trying to walk
and
your
then
way
having to
out of
walk
a
home.
forest or something, dude.
I do understand probably that there is also that mother instinct of like, well, my baby's home, and even if I bleed out getting back home, I guess I'm gonna
I'm
go
getting
home
home.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. It's crazy, but that's one of my crazy stories. Now
That's
we're gonna get to
literally insane.
our main man, Kyle.
Love Kyle.
So this story is about a man who was bitten by a rattlesnake on a family hike. Now this is a shorter story. Again, like I said, there's not much to it, so I'm just gonna kind of speed through it. But I just think that the situation is like it speaks to just how this could happen anywhere, and
Yeah.
you always have to be on alert when you're in nature. So keep that in mind. This was on a quiet family hike in Yosemite. Kyle Hickman was the man's name, and his wife decided to bring. Now, I feel like you're going to judge this part of the story because I also thought it was kind of crazy. Decided to bring their 5-week-old son out for a peaceful
What?
day in nature. They had just had this child. They were a fresh mom and dad, and they were just like, we want to get eager to they wanted to be able to say that they brought, I guess, their child out and explore, and they were planning all these different trips.
They better have planned on sacrificing that baby to the rattlesnake.
I think it's a little ridiculous for our audio listeners. Brent
What?
just took off his jacket right now.
Dude, it's so I'm sorry, I got hot. Stop yelling at me.
And he's
I
wearing no shirt underneath. He's just free nipping it right now.
what's it to you?
Anyway, so they decided to take the 5-week-old son. I don't know the name of the son, unfortunately, for a peaceful day in nature. After hiking for a while, they reached a resting spot near a small waterfall where other families were relaxing and kind of taking breaks. And I don't know if you remember our hike in Yosemite, but there were
Yeah,
quite a few places
yeah.
like that where you could kind of trail off from the original path and
From
just
the
kind of
14-mile hike before the stairs. Yeah, I
where you
remember.
could just kind of chill out, hang around. I mean, there was one spot we never even got to go to when we went
Because
there
it was
like
even higher up.
higher up. I
Yeah,
wish we did go low
same.
key because it was dope, but whatever.
It's
It's
cool.
fine. Don't hold it against any staff or faculty.
Oh, dude, wonder what they should have named that kid?
The 5-week-old?
Yeah,
What?
should have named him Lunch Meat.
I would gladly be lunch
Or
meat,
just
fun
or
uncle,
just
slab meat.
baloney.
Okay. Continuing. Kyle and his wife decided to take a walk near the water of this waterfall, enjoying the sights when as he stepped near the edge of a bridge, so he's not on
Is
the
this
bridge.
Kyle?
This is
Kyle's
Kyle.
okay.
The
Obviously,
5-week-old's
the
not walking
5-year-old.
quite yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say he can't walk.
The way that at least the original source material that I got this from tried to like describe it, he wasn't like on the bridge, but there is a bridge that you can look at and see the waterfall behind it, and he's kind of just near the water, so he has view of this bridge. So when it says that he's stepping near the edge of a bridge, I just want to make that clear. He's not actually on it, but when he steps close to the water, he suddenly just feels what he describes as a small tap above his sock line.
Oh no.
Just a little thud, right?
Yeah.
At first, he brushed it off, but then a very sharp pain shot up through his leg. Kyle started jumping around as he describes cursing, or no, as his wife describes to be particular, cursing and screaming, and thinking he'd been stung by a bee, which actually was a concern of his because he actually has a very bad allergy to bee stings.
Of course he does. Why is this man in nature? Why is this man in nature?
I don't know.
He needs to stay at home in a bubble
So
with
he's
lunch meat.
with lunch meat with my main man Bologna.
My main man Blagna.
So he's always had to kind of watch out for stings, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. That's sort of stupid. But the situation quickly took a turn for the worse. His eyes rolled back and he blacked out, and he eventually started vomiting uncontrollably. He realized something was terribly wrong.
I would assume so.
Obviously. When he regained consciousness, he saw two fang marks. I mean, I saw pictures of it. Like, you can't get more like cartoon snake bite than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like a vampire bite in cartoons. Like two red dots, huge. His calf was
fully
like
swollen,
swelling, dude, purple. It was around this time that his older brother immediately starts calling 911. While Kyle's wife, she was freaking out, but Kyle just told her to take their baby and get away from the area because
take the lunch meat and leave.
Despite his physical pain, Kyle, what he spoke to is that all he wanted was to not like have his son be there to witness
him die.
What might go down.
Yeah.
So, which is funny because in my opinion, it's like, no, that baby's not going to remember. So it's
that
fine.
baby's 5 weeks old. His name's Lunch Meat.
Middle name Bologna.
Bologna Lunch Meat.
Kyle had to wait. This is like, I can't imagine, dude. Kyle had to wait nearly 5 hours before help was able to get to him.
How'd he survive?
Dude, I don't know, bro. Apparently, and you know what's crazy? I don't know how he survived because when they were interviewing him after his initial story was told in this video, he even mentioned that like his bite was different than other people who've been bitten by rattlesnakes because it actually hit one of his veins, and like the venom went like into his system much faster.
So he should have died.
I
like
don't understand
even
how
sooner.
he managed to get through this, but they did get him to a hospital. His parents were with him the whole time while they were, because his parents were also on this hike. I don't think I mentioned that, but they're there like freaking out with him. He never heard the rattle of the snake when it happened, which is the craziest part. And the bite itself wasn't necessarily painful at first, but within minutes, his leg obviously began to swell, and the swelling only worsened at the hospital. And what's crazy is it actually got to its peak size of swelling 5 days into being into the hospital.
Nah.
So like he's there for a while.
It just
and
doesn't
he's
stop.
not even healing,
It's just
dude.
not even
Can
stopping.
you imagine 5 days and your leg just keeps getting bigger and you're like, I think we ought to cut it off.
Yeah, I was
doc.
gonna say, I think it's time to just
Yeah.
start off with a peg leg at this point, bro.
So that is the kind of end, because he did make it out. They got him treatment. He was able to, I guess, write his story. I don't know if he became a full-time author, but he became a small-time author, writing his story and his experience into this one magazine. I don't quite remember the publisher, but and he's been on interviews and talked about his story. But
That's cool.
again, like I said, it's not the craziest attack, but what I find crazy about it is like you never know.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day of a girl rocking a hammock with her baby in it, and it was another one of those videos where the comments were like, when you see it,
Oh,
you will shit your pants.
no.
And I'm like, what are they looking at? I don't see anything. I see shadows along, and I didn't even realize it. Something I thought was a shadow was a big ass anaconda snake coming in from an open door, and and she grabs the baby and runs. Like, it's snakes.
Why did it have to be snakes?
Why'd it have to be snakes? Dude, they're terrifying, bro,
No,
because they're
snakes
so
are scary,
quiet.
bro.
At least with rattlesnakes, usually, not in Kyle's case, but usually you can hear like the kind of
Yeah,
thing. And you're
yeah.
like, oh, maybe we should go.
I've heard that.
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard it have you heard it out and about or in like a zoo type of?
No, like I was
Oh,
camping. I was
really?
camping and I was sitting at a picnic bench.
Oh,
And all of a
what?
sudden I started hearing rattling and I was like young. So I was like, what is that? And then I just like happened to like look down and it was coiled like between my legs. And
Dude,
I was like,
no.
oh, and I jumped up on the top of the picnic bench and I just was
Oh
screaming
my
like,
God, dude, I
there's a
can't
rattlesnake.
imagine, bro.
Yeah, dude. Luckily got
They're
out
no joke.
unscathed, but like it was pretty freaking scary, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snakes are one of those predators that's like
You
they're a
can
different
either get
kind
a
of fear.
pretty
Yeah.
chill one or you can get like a
Mhm.
crazy venomous one and they're fast.
Yes.
Like that's like
You
just
don't
because
think-
they
you don't
have
think
no
they're fast.
legs, they are fast as hell. And they can coil up and like,
Even the
get
big
quote unquote
anaconda type
taller.
ones, dude. Like even the big giant snakes that are basically like their own kind of sea monster.
Yeah.
When they get
nah.
into the water, they can move really fast. It's
I'm good.
Really
Water
terrifying.
snakes are like the scariest. Nah,
dude.
I'm good. They're like
Anyway.
eels. They're like land eels.
Oh God, don't even say that. I hate that so much, dude.
They're land eels, bro.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Ah.
So there you go, chat. I hope you got a
There's
kick out
your-
of the crazy wild animals. I think this one was a bit better structured, ironically, even though it's a chill cast. I think this one
And
was
even
actually
though it's as long as a normal episode.
as long as a normal episode. I think this one was actually very productive in what we got to talk about and tell each other. And so hopefully, maybe not. Maybe this will pass up Call to the Wild or Weirdness in the Woods, whichever one was the big one. But
Shout out the previous seasons of the Woodsman podcast.
go check that out on streaming platforms.
But yeah, guys, we hope you guys like it. We hope you like the new format and setup for our months, and we'll be coming back to you guys with let me take out my notes.
While you're doing that, I also
we'll be coming back with Weirdness Week, where we will talk about missing 411. Yeah.
Which is funny. This is a topic we've talked about doing since back in the apocalyptic days of the laptop getting stolen. For
Yeah.
our long-term listeners.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy it. It will be a fun one. Got some things cooking, so we hope you guys enjoy it. I think we actually did discuss a missing 411 case on our Weirdness in the Woods episode, I believe.
Yeah. Because I remember I spoke to the guy who I believe was a hunter.
Yeah, and they were
then he just
they were
ended up
calling down the wild
disappeared.
game down the
Yeah,
hill,
yeah.
and he just was never there.
Mhm.
Could never find him, which is just so scary.
Crazy, dude.
Still have never found him. So,
Well,
yeah.
chat, thank you so much for joining us on this extra long Chillcast. We do have a question for you, as always. So, question: have any of you ever come face to face with one of nature's most dangerous animals? If you have, please let us know,
Yeah.
because we would love to hear some like stories from our own community of having to
drop a
encounter these
comment.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Comment. You can email us at the Woodsman Pod, not the at. I always say at.
I
for
know,
the
I do
Gmail,
too.
But it's the
The
Woodsman
Woodsman
Pod
Pod.
at gmail.com.
You can also add us on X or Instagram. I'll definitely be checking those out. And lastly,
I love you.
I love you.
We've been your hosts, Joey Rucker.
And Brent Murphy.
Later,
Gators.
The Woodsman Podcast is actively reading and responding to anything and everything on Instagram and our email.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the show, or would like to possibly be on the show, you can email us at thewoodsmanpod@gmail.com.
Make sure to keep up with all things Woodsman related on Instagram and X at Woodsman Pod.
Don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe to the Woodsman Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, with video exclusively on YouTube and Patreon.
Make sure to follow our personal accounts at Strange Kids and Piemaster J on all platforms. The Woodsman Podcast is co-produced by Brent Murphy and Joey Rucker.
Recorded at Elite Sound Studios, located in the Inland Empire.
Written by Brent Murphy.
Technical support by Eric Bessero.
Video editing by Joey Rucker. And blood, sweat, and tears by all of us.
Any additional content by the Woodsman Podcast may not be used without our permission. Copyright Cabin 13 Productions. And remember, if you can't outrun the animal, just outrun your friends.